Welcome back. Here we are again, week 3, day 2. I was about to say week 3, day 3. That's just not right.
No, no.
Um, of SLOLCS
Uh,
2025. We have Whatever Burger going up against Slippery Lizards for our first match of today. I'm Mustard. I'm the producer. I've been here all these days. I got still with me on my left. Hello.
hello, Mustard. Thank you for having me. Sorry to miss out yesterday. Had some business to take care of, but I'm here and I'm excited to see whatever Burger has to go up against Slippery Lizards. Hopefully, we'll be seeing some excitement today in week 3.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I also hope we get some cool stuff happen today. Um, but uh, but as we stand right now, we've had a lot of stuff going on in the background. We've had, and it's a bit busy for everyone this weekend. Got the Super Bowl happening, but I
Mm-hmm.
think we'll see us better than the Super Bowl.
Ooh,
So.
hot take. Hopefully, we have a bunch of other viewers out here who are going to be agreeing with us. Plus, you have time to watch both, viewers at home, that you can
That's
enjoy
true.
LCS and the Super Bowl at different times, or just at the same time if you're feeling ambitious and liking the VODs. But hey, thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll be seeing something come up. Is what you want to recap what happened yesterday, or was there anything of note?
Yes, it was pretty solid game against. I mean, Slippery Lizards, who was on the broadcast yesterday as well against they were playing against Conglomerate of Mewing, and it looked pretty back and forth towards the middle. I would say it kind of was a little bit in the later game that where everything
Mm-hmm.
kind of came to a head, and that's when we started to see Calm pull away with it, win. So not like, ooh, I wouldn't say anything really out of the ordinary from today's match.
Okay, okay. Like to see it, like to see it. Any particular standings or anyone on Whatever Burger or Slippery Lizards that we're looking forward to? I certainly have my eyes on Fira, Fruclid on Slippery Lizards, as well as Kakin and Winslow on the side of Whatever Burger. But anyone that you're looking out for, Mustard?
Will will the volley bear or Darius be banned? Winslow known for those two champions alone, and um, yeah, has been banned quite frequently, fortunately. So we'll see if he's able to actually play the champions for because like we've seen whatever Burger had a really breakout first game, and then they've been struggling to find their footing recently with only starting this week with only one win, and it was their breakout first win. Uh,
Right, right.
Things are hoping they can kind of recover. I think a lot of that again, right? That if that top lane pick is not banned out, I think we could see him pop off. At the end of the day, it's a little bit back and forth. It's a little, I don't know what would happen.
Yeah, I'm interested to see if there are going to be any unorthodox picks. I know that there have been some champions that have been consistently banned or consistently picked. I know that last 2 weeks, me and Quan brought it up of the Nautilus being a popular pick or ban. And there are also some other choices specifically for mid with Mel coming back in for the last 2 weeks. She's been a powerful presence, and even though they're not being streamed right now, seeing Chug and Jam's current bans for their games, seeing a Mel pick for mid, and also Mel picks and bans from other games past, it's going to be interesting to see if anyone's going to try and capitalize on people maybe not having as much knowledge about her or trying to understand the mid game matchups with her. But at the same time, there have been plenty of good choices on each team's side trying to play to their strengths, and hopefully we'll be seeing that with Whatever Burger and Slippery Lizards.
Yeah, in the pick race of the 23 games that are currently logged in our stats system, presented by the Rhino himself. but in the
Presented by
stats
Rhinos.
system, we have it is still Nautilus at the highest pick rate at 8 of 23, and also Nautilus with almost the highest ban rate at 8 of 23 as well. The
Interesting.
highest ban rates are Wukong, Skarner, and Jinx, all tied at 9 of 23 games. So it's so if we really want to calculate things, total presence, Skarner has had a lot of presence in the league so far, so as well alongside that
Interesting.
Nautilus. So
Okay, okay. We like to see some picks, see who's strong, see who isn't. Any kind of capitalization on whatever items, objectives are being implemented, but I'm interested to see if there are going to be any key bans or picks that you were saying, Wukong, the Nautilus, any sort of any sort of big pressure on one particular lane for dodging out their picks. I know top has been pretty advantageous for a lot of different teams, so we'll just have to see if any of those get like super bogged down.
yeah, so we got, you know, especially also something that has shown up a lot in Soul CS is Galio. Famously a
Mm.
champion that like good well like in general, good against a lot of the kind of AP burst, assassin, etc. Which not that we've seen too much of it in Soul CS, but also it is also just really good in a fight situation. If your teammates inting, ult.
It's very true. It's very true. He is sort of that extra boost that some teams are looking for, and hopefully we'll be seeing more Gallios be implemented. I always enjoy seeing full AP Gallios getting those sudden burst combos with men with Electrocute and the Gale Wings, but maybe we'll be seeing more in the mid lane. I also have seen some support Galio, so both very valuable positions. But any particular champion that you're wanting to see this game?
I don't know. We don't need to wait too long to find out, I will say. We can look at it right now.
Okie dokie. All right, all right. First impressions immediately. We are seeing both the Volibear and the Galio, with Slippery Lizards taking control of the Galio top, while Burger seems to be going for a Galio support this game.
Could be an any support. We don't know.
That is true. That is true. Any support, much more annoying than people can perceive, mostly thanks to that shield and the on-command stun, so long as you just have enough mana. And then we have have Slippery Lizards going in for an additional bit of burn. The Fire Mage against the Fire Mage of Brand versus Annie. Soraka also being a choice. I am interested to see if anyone's going to be daring enough to try the Soraka mid. Probably not this game given the Cho'Gath pick, but it is still on the table for the future. Mel in mid lane, Master Yi in the jungle could be very difficult for some and for the side of Slippery Lizards and Burger to deal with both two pretty decently ganking junglers. I mean, are there any big weak spots that you can see, Mustard?
I don't know. I honestly, I think what we will see is it's gonna hinge on can we get the executes? Can we get the smell fed for whatever burger is? That's gonna be your kind of one big like explode people condition, to put it
Mm-hmm.
that way. Mel famously very good at that.
Yes, she's been famous these past few weeks for getting people a little bit angry about just how strong her burst can be. All you people out there, doesn't matter which lane you're playing, doesn't matter how old or young, how experienced or inexperienced you are. Remember, the range of the champion is all that matters when it comes to dodging. Just understand the range of the champion and you'll be all good. And Mel is no exception.
Yeah. See, let's try this. Try this out this time. We take a peek at the lanes,
Okay.
maybe. See what they lock in game. Uh, Probably see it live fixed.
Ooh.
Go.
Wait a minute, is this a Mel 80 man APC we're seeing here along against a brand APC as well?
Seems so. I mean, AP ballin. You don't see that every day.
No, it's not. Although Mage bot lane, even though this was a little bit more
This
popular last season, is certainly not out of contention, especially with the is it Bloodletter? What was the name of the new item that they brought in?
good
Blood
question. I actually don't know.
No, but I've never really seen anyone take the item. But it's not like it's out of contention
Bang.
for either brand or Mel. But the ability haste and the burn through of the magic resistance could be valuable against both Galio and the Cho'Gath especially. But hey, that's just one of the many options that both sides can do. They can be more burn, they can be more burst. The Annie mid lane against the Cho'Gath mid lane is going to be interesting to see if Cho'Gath can start stacking sooner, or if Annie is just going to poke him down with continuous stuns. But it may just be a CC war, and then the top lane is going to be a back and forth with Volley versus Darius, two heavy hitters. I'm excited for this first match right now.
Yeah, me too. Channel Point Preds are live. If you love gambling as much as we do, feel free to put in your points on who is going to win this game, who's going to come out on top. It'll be
Let's go
Burger
gambling!
or Slippery Lizards. We're going to be getting in a game very, very soon. So sit tight for that. We'll be there shortly. But before we get there, remember, SLOLCS 2025 delivered by Woodstock Slow. Cute Woodstocks providing
Mm-hmm.
some excellent prizing for our finalists, as well as being an amazing host, providing a great venue for our season kickoff social.
We are seeing plenty of people going in. I love seeing the 10K investment on the side of of Slippery Lizards, and we see the one and only Rhino in the chat. Welcome in, welcome in. Hopefully everybody can enjoy what SLOLCS 2025 Week 5 Day 2 has to offer.
Week 5.
Week 3, excuse me. Time is
Week
relative,
5.
okay? Stop it. Stop
Week
embarrassing me.
5. I mean,
I
week 5. That's like the week of school that we're in. That we just
Ugh.
checked.
Ew.
Can you guys believe it? Can you guys believe it? It's about to be week 6 of winter quarter. Can you believe it? I can't.
No.
I can't. It makes me feel like when I think about that, like I want to kill myself. Crazy. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here.
You don't want to be here?
Oh, I don't.
We love a relatable commentator. We really do. And hopefully we'll be seeing some action going on soon. I am excited to see where everybody's going to be placed, if we're going to be seeing anything unorthodox. And I will say this, and I will say it again, if we can avoid any miscalculations on getting the support item, then I will be happy, very happy. Yes.
True. True. Not have a support item incident again.
Ooh. Triple Doran's Ring on the side of Slippery Lizards. We are seeing heavy AP emphasis on the side of Slippery Lizards. Hopefully we're going to be seeing Berg at least capitalize a little bit on the magic resistance, at least for the Galio and the Darius, but we're seeing an early invade here. Can they capitalize? Gonna be a miss from Fruklid on the pop-up from Cho'Gath. We're gonna be seeing some burn going in on Mysterious. Another pop-up coming in from Fruklid, landing 3 wards. Just gonna be taking some chip and just walking away. Unfortunate, but not unfounded.
Of course.
I mean, hopefully we'll be seeing some potential plays. I'm very interested to see what the J4 Master Yi matchup has become, considering the fact that Master Yi recently got buffed, and I don't really tend to see a huge amount of J4 versus Master Yi, but I'm interested to see how much swing is going to be coming in.
Yeah. Pretty standard leashing in the Big 25. I'm not a big fan of. I guess do want that slight bit of a cryo.
Definitely, definitely. Seeing just the spam coming in early from Pika, seeing the pops from Mini, it is going to be interesting to see what kind of capitalization Slippery Lizards is going to have, because although we could be seeing a brand stun later down the line, it seems like the only way that they're going to be really able to get in is if they can land a solid CC, but against a Mel and a Galio, that could be difficult to whittle them down, especially if Galio just starts building early magic resistance.
Yeah, but also like melee versus range. Like the early game is not going to be that great for whatever burger. A bot lane, like you get pumped out. The Mel can do as much as she wants to, but Mel not very mana efficient early game, so you can't really poke ult too much.
True. Very true. Hopefully we'll be seeing some level 3s, maybe some gankage coming in from both sides. Almost got their full jungles cleared for both Berg and Liz. Hopefully we're going to see who is going to be able to apply that pressure. Bot lane seems to be more veering towards Teach Me the Ways and Mini, but that doesn't mean we are going to be losing out on too much CS here. Trying to tip the scales a little bit, use those pressures, the Soraka Q, given a big area of Afira, going in, managing to land multiple hits on Winslow, one level of difference, seeing the burn going, the ignite going down, the shield, it's not going to be enough to deal with Winslow though. That Huge is managing to drain the minions, but we see the flash coming from Mira, and the sun goes down, and the first blood goes to Fira. The shield protecting him. That lightning shield with the Doran's ring is empowered because it's AP scaling.
And
but
you let the Master Yi get a little bit ahead. Oh, and Kia, great shield, the E from the Volibear to seal things off. Speaking of the rough bot lane, we see it kind of in action here as Gyarados just gets poked out. Mini doing a lot though, a great reflect from Pika. Does actually allow the projectile to be hit back at the Soraka and get a little bit of healing from Mel. A 30-second heal.
Yeah. I am certainly interested to see if Pika is going to be able to deal with the one projectile ult that Slippery Lizards has with Brand, if they're going to be able to capitalize on it. Certainly feels like they have the reaction. I would hope that they have the reaction time to be able to protect against it, or at least predict when it's going to happen. But again, that is later down the line, and at this point, just going to be watching Slippery Lizards get the early priority in lane.
Yeah, as Winslow walking up does have a wave stacked up. Darius can just stack the bleed, but that Volibear is just so tanky. Able to get the Conqueror off eventually, but not too much gonna happen top lane. Mini gets stunned, rooted up, not stunned, forced to flash away, not ignited by Gyarados. Pika able to claim the kill top lane for Lokia, looking to seal the deal on Winslow and secures the feat of Warfare. Both teams had 2 kills, so I mean that was contentious there before Lokia went in for that.
Seeing an early sheen going on the part of Fira Lokia is just so terrifying to think about. They have the pretty decent lead. They've managed to get the first plate going down. This is what I'm talking. This is what we were talking about. The potential snowballing that could happen in top lane. It's a struggle bus of just you're on your island, but then when you are too big for that island to handle, you can just go around and do whatever the hell you want. And hopefully, we'll be seeing that with Fira Lokia later. But for now, we're just seeing the necessary farming going on for both sides.
Yeah, deflecting that Soraka Q so early, not exactly a great thing. Gyarados gets stunned up by the Brand, walks into the Mel with the Brand passive. Not exactly the, if it were, I'd be pinging him if it were me.
I would probably do the same. I mean, Brand is another champion where you figure out the effective ult range, but let me talk. It's Winslow coming in and just getting whittled down by Stern Cabbage, getting knocked up from the flagpole and just seeing him whittled down by the thunderstorm. Winslow is just not having a great time top lane.
Yeah, they're just kind of boxing him out. It's a little rough. They're showing up in his lane pretty constantly too. So it's like they really want this top side to win. They really want this Volibear to get ahead, start running map, doing whatever, going wherever he pleases.
Yeah, I mean the CS lead so far, getting the triple grubs, just kind of cementing that there's a little bit more objective pushing coming in from the side of Slippery Lizards. Fruklid kind of showing this off, a 20 CS lead. May not be super big, super big later down the line, but right now having a Cho'Gath just sort of whittling away, getting to level 6 first is just going to be very detrimental for the Annie until she can get off the full Tibbers point blank stun combo.
Yeah, so we got and it's a little rough. Like, you don't want to be behind really ever. I think if we really look at this, like, it's still like it's a 1K gold lead already for Slippery Lizards. Not too much has happened. They do have the 3 grubs. First Drake is still up for both teams. So like it's really just a I think everyone has to be careful, play safe. We see Winslow going for the hook on the Furlokia, dodging the lightning but that Volibear able to get the shield. Ghost popped by the Darius. Ignite expended from Furlokia. Ultimate comes out, does not really connect the Winslow. This might be a position for the Darius to come back, but oh my goodness, look at that healing from the Volibear. Doesn't even matter. The Noxian Guillotine comes out, but it does not execute. And the bleed will not be taking that Volibear out. A close fight, not quite there. And I mean, if you are Winslow, I think you just have to like chill, play back. You can't. It's a little difficult for you to fight that Volibear now. Things finally happening. Mid lane being the island for once in this game. Finally involved. There's that Tibbers you mentioned. Quickly getting stunned up, getting caught out. Mysterious able to get the kill, but Pika extremely low. Oh, the hero's entrance just barely able to save that Mel, who is now just gonna get just EQR, Stern Cabbage Iron, gonna be taking that guy out, but Mini might go down from the Ignite. There it is. Gyarados gonna be claiming 1. Things still even. I believe a 1 for 2. So
Yep.
for whatever burger, that is a net gain, but you do lose a lot of position just from losing your Mel, your APT.
Are seeing the struggle bus slowly creeping in top lane, just seeing all that CS difference, and then seeing just the difference in terms of gold and the bounty. Got Slippery Lizards slowly creeping in, taking those objectives with the first wave of grubs being taken, and just leaving out and Hextech Drake just being able to take it early on is pretty important. But hey, we are seeing some more pushing in coming in. Hopefully we'll be seeing Mysterious making more of those ganks and backswings to help out top lane and mid lane. Bot lane I'm also a little concerned about, even though they do have 1 kill and they have 2 kills over Slippery Lizards. It's just, I hope that they can be aware of what might happen, including this potential gank, or Fruklid is just going to walk back to mid lane.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I really honestly, I can't wait for this Mel to get fed. I think like you're playing against like it's kind of it's gonna be the one saving grace for them, especially like getting that execute. You just stack enough for passive. You use the ult. It's like, what do you do, right?
Yeah, we're hopefully gonna be seeing more contention against the Mel. Gyarados not backing immediately, but he seems to be trying to bait out Mini and Teach Me the Ways, but neither of them can really whittle down the Galio very easily. But I am interested to see if Winslow is going to be able to get that bounty off from Fira. It's just so... 300 early on is going to be very important. Seeing multiple CC going on to Gyarados here.
Yeah, Teach Me the Ways and Mini both extremely low. Rooted up. The passive, if it's stacked enough. Ooh. Oh, you don't even need it. Pika just ults anyways. Still going to be claiming that brand. And there it is. Power of the Mel execute. Furlokia going to be walking forward on the Winslow. Going to be getting the stun off onto the Darius. Gonna try to run away. Might need to use the flash here, but it does not. Oh, but like even with the flash, Furlokia gonna be ulting that turret. Gonna be disabling it. Gonna be investing a flash as well. And top lane is not looking hot. The bot lane is But the bot lane is the great counterbalance in this matchup, at least. A lot of bot lane prio expended. They might be looking for a tower dive as Gyarados just continues to walk forward. Root goes down onto Mini, a great engage. The taunt as well. The reflect. Pika gonna be walking away with one, and Mysterious with the other. I mean, a well-executed tower dive.
Great tower dive, managing to get away from Fruklid. Mysterious using his Q in order to prioritize the tower shots onto Gyarados and the minions is just so smart, even when you're one-tapped. But Fira is going down from Winslow, just getting completely whittled down, but Stern goes in with it, man. The ult, they're here for Demacia, baby. Demacia coming in and managing to finish off Winslow, even when he was below half. Fira's bite just slowly healing him up, getting the shielding from his E. It's just so hard for Winslow, and now he's down 0-6, just feeding this Volibear. It is a tragedy to see a top lane this early on.
Yeah, but I mean, at this rate, like, you're worth so little gold that it might honestly not be that detrimental for you to just be taking fights, because if you're able to get one kill, get the shutdown, you're able to swing things in your favor, the Volibear is taken out of the fight for an extended period of time because, hey, you know, higher level, longer respawn timers, take the Volibear out of the fight, and then your team's just able to have much more map presence. They don't have to fear the Volibear split pushing or showing up all of a sudden. It might not be the worst thing in the world, especially since you're so behind, right? Like, you kind of want any chance you can to get back in the game. It's only 13 minutes, so like things still pretty early, right? Plates are still up. Speaking of things that are up,
oh no,
the jig is up. Everyone knows that they are a great taunt from Gyarados to slow the aggression. Pika's still caught in no man's land though, gonna be forced to flash, getting a little bit of shielding. The ultimate comes down from the Volibear, a great route to keep him away from harm's length, but Pika just gonna get walked down by Stern Cabbage, and I mean, just a 5v2 in the bot lane, unable to even walk away with one. It was very close to being very good for whatever burger. Again, just I mean,
it was well founded. Mysterious came in, was attempting to whittle them down. We had a 3-man taunt coming in for Gyarados. It was almost really good considering that we saw Pika managing to dodge Fruklid's pop-up, but then Stern Cabbage just came in, mited her down, slowing her enough just to get in the smack, and it just didn't really matter. We are certainly seeing the MVPs on the side of Slippery Lizards right now. Stern managing to go in for those important ganks, and Fira just slowly building up massive power, getting in those ults that just to whittle down the enemy team. Hopefully we'll be seeing, as you were talking about, this Mel slowly accumulating more power, and maybe Mysterious as well.
But it will not be today. It will not be at this exact moment. Second Drake does get picked up by whatever burger, so you know, I would say it will slow down the feats progress, but Slippery Lizards already got the already got the feats of strength. So
true. We are seeing a 3v3 going down. All of our previous combatants, so now it's a 4v3. But it's an instrument, but all the side of whatever burger is very much aware of what happened last time, even with one of their members and top lane right now. It's just not something that they really want to do. They don't want to lead into 3 more kills, and it's just really important right now. Winslow and Fira's just watching in the shadows, waiting for the moment that he can just strike or just bring the wave to the tier 2 tower.
Yeah, look. Maybe not even the tier 2 tower. Looks like they're gonna go for tier 1 tower. Great knockup from Fruklid, and the follow-up from Stern Cabbage Onion. I mean, that's honestly just rough. Like, you don't have vision of your jungle. You just can't really walk in it. It's just it's a little unfortunate.
It's a sad sight to see, but hopefully we'll be seeing some greater farming going on from bot lane. Maybe we'll be seeing Hagen being able to get some kind of a comeback. The Tibbers and stun is right there, and they do have Gyarados and Winslow in the backline, getting silenced and forced to push back with the pop coming in from Fruklid's Shirelias. So hopefully will be, man, hopefully, whatever Burger will be able to deal with some of this mid lane pressure coming in from Frucla, just slowly accumulating more HP.
Yeah, I did not really expect that Terrelia's on Cho'Gath. That was I haven't seen that in a little bit, but
No, I'm
you know it
seeing
makes
the
sense. You get some AP scaling. It has a little bit of health built into it. It has mana gen built into it. You can provide this provide a little speed boost for your team or yourself to just run people down. It's
yeah.
not the worst thing to build. I see it. I see the vision. You're not, you don't have to be like the full tank uh Cho'Gath here because you have fairly tanky, more like bruisers on your team, but you know, the slack is picked up elsewhere. You don't need to be the one eating all the damage, so
True, true, and it does seem like we're gonna be. Man, I did see that Fruclid was able to manage to kill the Rift Herald, get that bite down. Maybe they'll be trying to continuously beef up this Cho'Gath to act as just this big sponge, whilst Fura and Stern go in for the kill. We are seeing a lot more pressure coming in from the top lane, both Pika and Winslow trying to potentially lock down Fura, but at this point they're just farming. We're just going to be seeing them try to build up those golds, get their third items if possible, and maybe, just maybe, turn this around.
yeah, whatever burgers scale pretty well. Mostly the Mel, because basically everyone else on both teams, besides like the Forklid infinitely scaling by eating, like the only one that scales well is Mel on both teams. And
Right.
like the Annie to some extent as well, but like Brand too, I think a lot of AP champions generally scale really pretty well, but like if we're talking about scaling, waiting for them to scale, it's Mel.
Yeah.
The Mel is what you need to be scared of, especially once you start getting to like the later phases of like level 2, level 3 ultimate. That's when things
Oh.
really get online for Mel. Unfortunate situation for Mysterious getting stunned, silenced, stunned in his own jungle. Herald dropped down mid lane. No one's gonna be riding it into the tower though, so no extra grubs to be found. But that should just be the tier 2 turret. Never mind, actually.
Slowly whittled down by Winslow and Pika, just trying to deal whatever damage they can. It seems like Slippery Lizards is seemingly managing to splinter Fruclid, Ant-Man, Fruclid, and Kakin just having their battles and swapping down to bot lane, while Winslow is doing his best to whittle down all the minions on the tier 2 tower. Meanwhile, Fruclid is going to be able to finish off the bot lane's tier 2 tower.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll be seeing some kind of recovery here, or maybe it's just going to turn into Tower Defense Simulator once they get towards the
Perhaps.
Nexus.
If we want to take a look at the gold really quick, it's almost 3k
Ooh.
in the top lane. Solely off of kills, because we see like Winslow does have more CS than Furlokia. Mid lane also a bit of a cavern, 3k to that Cho'Gath, and a lot of that one is concentrated in the minion. Bot lane again, the shining spot, right? Like Mel slightly ahead of the brand. More CS, more kills. That's like your it's gonna be your one silver lining, and I think the only way you can get back in this game is if you make sure that Mel stays alive, make sure that you're able to keep her nice and healthy, and not squander the opportunity. Really, is the only way I can put it.
True. I mean, we're trying to see if they're able to capitalize on the jungle, take whatever dragons they can. Ocean Soul just gonna make them give them more HP, be able to improve their survivability, all the more. And we are seeing tier 3 boots going in on the side of Slippery Lizards, mostly from top and the support. But for right now, I am interested to see if they're going to be pushing any particular lane. Bot and mid are both in a weakened state. Meanwhile, Furalokia and Winslow are just kind of having their battle of fisticuffs, just seeing if this ult lead is going to mean anything. But Furalokia managing to get out with the ult, but just getting hooked in by Winslow. getting slowed down, and we're just seeing the 4v1 against Windman against SLOLCS. Many trying to do whatever they can to silence and heal, but it's just not going to be enough. Finally managing to claim that bounty and kill that damn bear.
Yeah, the volley bear does go down. In the meantime, the Forklift pushing that bot lane already on the inhibitor turret. That's not great if you are whatever burger. Kalkin trying her best to hold him off, but you know, with the Canic Rooker being built, a lot of them are for that Cho'Gath.
I really do want to know. Shurelia's does make quite a bit of sense for Cho'Gath. I am just interested to understand why that was first item priority. I do agree with you. The AP and the mana regen were pretty important for Cho'Gath, as well as the ability haste. But are they gonna build any other type of potential AP item or even a haste item? Because Canic Rookhorn doesn't provide any kind of haste. It's just the health, magic resist, and the health regen. But we are seeing a Fruklid coming in with the bush, but it is just going to be Gyarados coming in and managing to protect Kalkin just in the nick of time, right before he could have been eaten. But seeing Fruklid slink back into the shadows, meanwhile everyone on Slippery Lizard destroying the Otacon.
Yeah, Otacon gonna be claimed by Slippery Lizards. There's just not any other objectives on the map for whatever burger to really trade for. The one thing they should have done is went top lane and taken that top turret. We see Winslow kind of going there now, but just a little, I think too little too late. It is going to be the Voracious Otacon, so the withdraw and the respawn. It was heavily nerfed in the recent patch, and I believe all it does, like, it takes like 15 seconds. It regenerates you at full health, but again, it takes 15 seconds now, so it's like a little bit more higher cost in that sense. Here, Lokia going to be going in on a Winslow, who just claimed that top lane turret, and bang! Oh, the Mel. Okay, the Mel didn't kill, but eventually will withdraw, and he is forced to wait that 15 seconds out. Forklit and Stern Cabbage on iron coming in. Gyarados, great taunt just to stall things out, trying to get away. I think if you are the Galio, you have to give up your life for the ADC here, or the APC. Pika trying his best, trying to get away, but I don't think this Mel's gonna be able to live. A flash and reflect, but it reflects absolutely nothing, and he is gonna go down eventually. And I mean, I think in that situation, if you are Gyarados, you just go in and try to stay alive and force them away from your ADC. I know, like, Pika was just in a horrible position to begin with, but you know, you need it. Like, if you're dead anyways, might as well draw them away if you can. Winslow tasked with clearing this wave. Same thing for Mysterious. I don't think it's gonna happen. So they're just gonna let them take that turret, but they can't let this inhibitor go down. And Slippery Lizards know they can't take the inhibitor either. Mysterious gonna be going in. Yeah, gets silenced by Soraka. Gyarados, great taunt.
It's a bit of a tragedy looking at it from a statistical standpoint, seeing a 5k gold difference. All these kills, double bounties going on from mid and jungle. We are seeing Mysterious trying to poke in, but getting slowed down. Fruklid, Ant-Man, and Stern just going and getting the pop-up. Wait a minute. They could potentially move this in a different direction. Winslow and Pika trying to whittle down, but it's just not enough. Fruklid just absorbing everything that they throw at him. That Mel Reflect not going to do anything against Cho'Gath. I had faith, and it just didn't really amount to much.
Yeah, like, the game, Riot Games, League of Legends thinks that this game is relatively even, because we did see those objective bounties turn off. So
right.
If we stand in that position, I don't know what crack Riot is smoking to think that. It's 3 towers to 7. It was 2 Drakes to 1. Herald, 6 Grubs, Otacon. The objective bounties are back, but, like, again, that was I heavily disagreed with it going down.
Yeah.
But like things do look kind of even at some times. We see Pika going for just the full chip, the full like melt build, you know, with the Leandry and the Blackfire Torch. Now I think looking to build to Morello's ability with the anti-heal. I mean, I think you just need your Mel to do more damage some way somehow. Like
Yeah.
it just the damage needs to happen, whether that's through like more maybe
Ooh.
you need more like magic pen, no, or whatever. Gyarados gonna be able to get away from that. Baron is up now. I think Slippery Lizards might look to just force a fight and take the Baron. The Otacon has expired, so no more free deaths for Slippery Lizards.
Are just seeing them giving them a little bit more wave priority, looking and potentially popping Fruclid, trying to stay towards the front line, acting as either a pop-up or just a damage sponge to deal with all that C that could be coming on from the side of whatever burger. But it seems like both sides are in agreement that they are going to fight more so than they are going to be taking Baron at this point, because if one side falls, the other can take Baron pretty easily. But at this point, it's just they're lingering so hard in whatever burger's jungle that it's just going to be really hard for them to make this comeback. But at this point, it seems like
Oh,
they may
they
have just given up.
they know they're on Baron. There's no way they don't sniff this out. The blue one
Right.
should just confirm things. You can't fight this Baron, unfortunately. I'd say the best
No.
thing you could do is try to go for a steal, but even at that, your jungler is so far away. Mr. Yi just not in a position to do anything. There's the power that Shorelia is going to be
Aurelia pop.
allowing. Yeah, there it is. Going to be allowing them to walk forward now, empowered by the Baron. Gyarados gets stunned up by Furlokia. Great route just to prevent the aggression. Try to allow Descalia to get out, but it's not happening. Furlokia going to be claiming that kill onto Gyarados. Tibbers comes out as well, looking to get some damage or maybe the stun. Oh, and a flash forward. The ultimate from Stern, Cabbage, Iron, and once again. Mal ultimate comes out, doesn't really do anything. Pika able to stay alive for a little bit longer. I don't know how much longer though. Furlokia gonna be walking down the Mel, and it's all gonna come crumbling down. They're gonna siege just mid turret. They're gonna siege just inhibitor. They're pretty low though, so with Winslow and Mysterious up, there is a chance that they slip up and go down again. You know, like the Darius champion, very well known for executing.
True. Very true. Looking at each and everything, I do love the fact that if you look at their health bars, Frucla just has all of their health combined. They've been just managing to land all of these objectives. Teach me the ways. Getting interrupted by Gyarados, getting silenced and missing out on the stun, but the taunt coming in. Frucla trying to go back in with the Shurelya's, but it's just gonna be a will they, won't they situation of just going back and forth. Teach me the ways. All you had to do was just be a little bit further away, and we wouldn't have seen this spam of abilities. Ooh.
Still like relatively good. Like whatever burger, like they're holding on. Again, I just don't think they're gonna be able to do much.
Yeah.
They're holding on. Especially with this Drake coming up online in about a minute here. It's so boring for Slippery Lasers, and there's no other objectives on the map. And so it's not great timing for this Drake. You don't really want them to have even more healing than they already do. You know, the Jarvan has a good amount of healing. The Volibear especially.
Oh, but they may be collapsing in, taking that Baron buff and just trying to push them in wherever they can, thanks to Fruclid just keeping a hold of it. But at this point, we are losing another inhibitor. It's just going to be a big old crush onto everybody. Seeing them going in, Fiora going in and managing to land double stun on the turrets. They are just completely gone. Seeing the Mel ultimate really
just nothing. A little bit early. Wait a second, though. The Yi able to take down Furlokia and Stern Cabbage Onion. Your engage is out of the fight for Slippery Lizards. Whatever burger, if they're careful, they should be able to hold on. Kalkin extremely low, able to walk away. Just barely. Winslow walking forward, looking to make something happen. Mysterious is able to get onto the backline, take out that Soraka. A lot of your healing is gone. Teach me the ways as well. This Master Yi, they let this guy, who let this guy in the lobby? Forklift coming in, and just like that, like we thought it was impossible. Whatever burger, they hold on.
This is the comeback mechanic we were waiting for. This is the Noxus that I am looking for. Seeing Mel and Darius going in, this is what we were looking for. Mysterious made May just
Noxus buff.
Noxus buff. This may be the opportunity for Mysterious to come back and just steal Ocean Drake to prevent men to slow down potential soul point.
I mean,
That is the power of
there's
Master
nothing.
Yi.
It was an ace. Like you
Yeah.
can't you can't get here in time. So that's I mean, I think that was the best situation you could have asked for whatever burger, especially with the new mechanic this season. Those Nexus turrets will respawn. As long as whatever burger can hold out the 3 minutes it takes them to respawn, they'll be fine. Already a minute has passed.
It is certainly going to be interesting to see if they can capitalize on anything else in particular. No other objectives are up at the moment, and right now it's just seeing what kind of pressure can be laid on the different lanes. We're seeing double super minions going in from from mid and top. At this point, I'm very concerned if they leave anything up to interpretation, leave it wide open. Fear and Mysterious kind of looking at each other, just agreeing to leave them alone.
I think that if you are whatever burger, you need to get vision in your fucking jungle. You have no vision anywhere. You need to get vision in your jungle right now.
Mini, my favorite, another fellow lover of Soraka. That vision is just really important. It doesn't matter what your team comp is. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. You just gotta prioritize having some kind of vision. But it seems like everything's going in.
Speaking of vision, I see the vision from Slippery Lasers. They want to end this game right here, right now. Fearlokia getting taunted up. The ultimate comes through. The root, though, is huge. The Mel doesn't even need the ultimate. Mysterious going to be claiming the kill on to Fearlokia. Stern Cabbage Onion goes into the backline. Pika extremely healthy, though, regardless of everything. Stern Cabbage Onion does claim Calkin, and eventually the Yi will go down, but not before taking out Forklid with them. And, I mean, Yi does scale pretty well, especially since he was behind for most of the game. This is kind of like he's hitting his power spike now. Right? I think, like, if the game if the game drags on for any longer, then we'll start to see the Yi's effectiveness kind of fall off. This is, like, the peak moment for whatever burger because your Mel is starting to come online and to do damage. Your Yi has kills now. Your Yi finally has items, 4 of them, in fact. And the QSS, which... Actually, you know, which makes sense. You have a lot of stuns. You have a lot of stuns and silences. QSS pretty solid for that. Baron Nashor is up. I don't know if you can do Baron though. The timing might be a little bit off for whatever burger. I think you just play it a little. You should just play it a bit safe. Keep the vision on the Baron because you've shown that you can take a fight now. So you might just want to play around that fight around Baron, because I don't think you can take it yourself. But we see Slippery Lizards encroaching onto the pits.
Seeing them encroach. At this point, I would probably prioritize having somebody be able to go in, but they're all in the bush. They are waiting, and they are fearing, and they are pushing, forcing Gyarados and Mysterious to move back with Kagen.
Surely they know they're on Baron. Surely you know they're on Baron.
Yes.
There's no way, right? You know they're on Baron, right? Where else could they be?
But it doesn't seem like they're going to be able to contest just double. You have 2 smites. You have Stern, and then you have Fruklid just being able to just whittle down that Baron really fast.
A great stun with the Tibbers. I mean, it's on the Fearlokia, so not a lot to be done. A great root, a great ultimate from the Mel, but it will be the Noxian Guillotine that claims that kill, and Forklid will take one with them. Well, not with them, trading it out. So it's currently still, I believe, a 2 for 2. Unfortunately, Slippery Lizards did get the Baron, so it is going to make things pretty hard for whatever burger if they want to push in. Forklid looking for the flank. Very fast at the moment. Very... not super great. Does pop the Shirelles to be even faster. Great root from the Mel. Pika able to stop that the aggression again. And I mean, they're just gonna keep pushing into your base. Your inhibitors are back online, but your Nexus turrets aren't. So not yet. Pika gonna get walked down by Forklid. No mana to be found from this Mel. Forced to flash away. Root does come out, and I believe that bot laner should be able to get out of it. The Nexus turrets have respawned. So things looking a little bit better for whatever burger, but not that.
No, Kaken just trying to go in and make some kind of disruption against Teach Me the Ways Fruklid and many, but it's just not going to be enough. Fruklid, 2 AP items double, then half and half tank, getting one last item, and probably going to be something like a, oh goodness, what is it called? Uh, some kind of mixed tank item. It's going to be a pretty good time, but who knows how it's going to resolve.
It might even be an Abyssal Mask. I don't know. Drake is being taken right now. Whatever Burger, not really aware of it, it seems. They're
I
kind of
guess.
pseudo-aware of it. They're just gonna yeah, they just give up soul just like that. They should have known. They have the scuttle vision there. Like, I think
Yeah.
you're kind of just bleeding out again. Like, you let them take soul, you let them take Baron. You need to take a risk because you are still firmly behind in this game, and right now is like the let's chill out phase, especially when the Baron's still up. It's almost over. Got another 40
Yeah.
seconds left on the Baron, so I think if you are whatever Burger, you just chill out, let the Baron expire, and then you need to look for a fight. You need to look for an engage. You need to look for some way to get back in the game because they've just kind of been a little bit passive in this kind of like late game stage, but they need to get in. They need to get active. Otherwise, they're not. You know, the Slippery Lizards will continue to snowball their lead.
Are seeing both of those turrets up, with seeing the inhibitor come and the other top lane inhibitor coming back with losing bot. It's just gonna make it really difficult. Seeing those minions just slowly whittle down, and Shirelia's getting popped. Fruitlet, seeing he's going in for the 5v, man, going the 1v5.
Oh, force the flash. I mean, that's not a great look. All your inhibitors are down. Your turrets are still online. We can't see the health of the turrets because the spectating is a little bit bugged, but clearly the turrets are still online. How healthy they are, we don't really know, but we're going to see if they're going to be able to stand up to the test of time. Freelokia walking forward, grab the shield, grabs the ultimate. Going to be able to get the shield, get the engage down as well. Straight into the back line is Freelokia and Stirring Cabbage Onion. Does not matter that the hero's entrance comes down. The Mel is out of the fight, and your E is taken out as well. No fatalities so far for Slippery Lizards, as whatever Burger are gonna fall by the wayside. 1, 2, 3, 4 and we will make it all 5 of them, and it should be curtains for whatever Burger, and that will be Slippery Lizards finally able to end the game. Oh man, what a honestly
boy.
I think they held on for quite a long time.
Yeah, it was undeniable that Slippery Lizards was giving them a bit of a chokehold in mid and top lane, but it's not like they were completely outmatched. They had some points where they could have come back. They were just giving up, bleeding out, as you were saying, a lot of the objectives that were just really important. Mysterious getting that man, helping out with that one ace fight when their nexus nearly opened. But at this point, I'm just very concerned with just they weren't really focused too much on Baron, or at least as much as they should have been.
Yeah, so honestly, like the objective control was a little bit weak if you were to ask me. I think like for whatever Burger, and you know, it's easier said than done, of course. Like, vision is very important, and there were just several moments that had they put a ward down, it would have been, you know, they would have sniffed it out. Again, like, you're so behind that you just kind of need to make a play,
Right.
unfortunately, and they just were a little bit hesitant. They couldn't quite commit to it, and unfortunately, like, you know, around to bite them in the back, and they lose the game. I mean, they had the glimmer of hope towards the mid game when the Yi started. Yi was able to scale up, and with the QSS, just trying to avoid as much CC as he can, especially, you know, press Q as Yi, right? Like, what are they to do? They hit you, you know. So again, just so close yet so far for whatever Burger. The Mel pick, I love the Mel pick. But like, just being forced to build into that like damage over time, it just isn't really Mel's play style for the most part. She's definitely much more of a burst mage than kind of that like something for applying a lot of dot, which like in that situation, yeah, there's no one to really burst down, maybe besides the Brand or the Soraka, but you need to be able to reach them first. So you know, I get it, but it is just a bit unfortunate. I did hopefully, they still have some time. It's not over for them yet, right? It's only week 3. They got, I
Mm-hmm.
believe, 3 more matches ahead of them, 3 or 4 more matches ahead of them. So they still got some time to work things out, kind of clinch maybe a lower seed into the playoffs and try to run it back. For Slippery Lizards, just looking great, and just yeah, they're just looking strong so far, poised to go far currently. Uh, so
Yeah, hopefully we'll be seeing some more plays in the future from whatever burger. Slippery Lizards having a strong, solid start. Been here in slow LCS going into week 3, and hopefully we'll be seeing some more solid picks into the future. I think that even though Furalokia was a very strong start, I do have to give contention with Fruclid just whittling down and helping out a lot with those objectives. Stern going in with those key ganks and just landing those Demasias and just managing to smack down and just never seeming to lose the vision from from Mini was just pretty important for their victory. But I am excited to see what both teams have in store for the future, and I think this is a pretty good first game for day 2 of week 3, delivered by Woodstocks to end on.
yeah, so we're gonna get you that next game pretty soon. We're a little behind schedule, a little bit longer to start and get going, but you don't want to go anywhere because this next game is going to be a banger. LeBron James lovers against property in Egypt. Because you know what they do when you buy property in Egypt? They give you the property. So we'll see if that's true on the other side of this break.
Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very brief switch, but we're here. I think it caught both me and Gusto off guard, but I'm Quanzek. Gusto's next to me, and we're here to cover the 2 o'clock game coming up here for SLOLCS on this wonderful Super Bowl Sunday evening or afternoon.
Yes, we are here to see a great old title bout of LBJ versus Piedmont versus Pi, and I am interested to see what property in Egypt and LeBron James lovers have in store for us here at Game 2. But I must know, as my commentator, you, Kwanzek, have just come in from a previous
Oh, don't
game.
do this to me. Don't
I
do this
have
to
to.
me.
I have to. Come on, brother. You tell us a little bit about it if you don't mind.
So my team Pangea just played One Love. They are the ones that with the target on their backs. They're the lone undefeated team up to this point. I think Chug Jug City Burger Time might be, but I don't know if they've had to buy yet. Um, but yeah, so we played them in a game that I thought was winnable. We came with 2 different draft strategies, used one of them, and that one didn't work as well. I think if we used the other one, it would have played better. We played it tight. We conceded one too many early objectives, but I personally made a really bad call at the tail end of that game,
Oh
where I
no.
thought we had like another 5 seconds to chase down the Zin who was running out of our base, but I didn't account for Twitch movement speed when he goes invisible. And so, as we were chasing down Zin,
Oh.
Twitch opened and killed us once we had just gotten Baron, which would have bought us another at least 4 or 5 minutes into the game to scale. And they killed 2 of us, which was enough to take down the base. It was a close game. I think they played better throughout the course of it, but it definitely was winnable. And it is one that I'm tilted on personally because I should have played better. And I think if we used the different draft strategy, which I had prepped for like most of the week, I think that result is very different. I think the Heimerdinger finally drops down from 100% win rate, but that
Okay.
is, it'll have to wait for a rematch that we'll hopefully see in playoffs. So
Oh, I am looking forward to it, and I know all of y'all are waiting for it as well. But I am excited to see what we have going into this next game. We have been seeing a lot of the different picks and bans here. Certainly interested to see if we're going to be noticing any big patterns. I know that Nautilus, Mel, Wukong, and Master Yi have been some of the popular ones when it comes to bans, as well as Victor. But I am curious to see, are there any particular bans or anything that you are looking towards?
not in particular. I will admit I'm not the most up to date with these individual champions. What I will say, I don't know how many times this has happened on stream, but this may be the first game where we are incredibly topside heavy in terms of both
Hmm.
of these teams, what they want to play for, right? Because usually, you know, there's high rated players all across every single role, but we have 2 of the highest ranked players in all of slow CS in the top lane for each of these teams, which means junglers should be pathing bot to top, and both of these rosters should be playing for Teach Me the Ways, JG Kings on the side of Property in Egypt. And on the other side, it's going to be Arch Tempered, being the one in the top lane to make his mark, make his place known. And so I'm very curious because I don't know if we've had that dynamic on stream yet, where the priority should be heavily weighted towards the top side.
I'm not sure we have yet. I know that there's been a lot of contention with some of these games regarding some of the potential one-sidedness of certain top-side fights,
Yep.
or at least player outcomes. But I am interested to see if LeBron James lovers or property in Egypt are going to be able to push towards one side or the other. But hey, it's gonna be Property in Egypt's first stream game. Teach Me the Ways is returning yet again for stream, this time in the top lane from where they were as the brand on the side of Slippery Lizards. So hopefully we'll be seeing some interesting plays going in the switch as their captain, as they are the captain in Property in Egypt. But
Yep.
against Arch Tempered, I don't know. He's tough nut to crack.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why he is so heralded in that top lane. Very, very talented individual, and JG Kings. I mean, the way when our team has played property in Egypt, and it was JG Kings existing almost permanently topside. I think he played a Belveth against us, and I remember Karen just yelling like, "He's here again!" for like the 5th gank in a row, and
Oh
so.
no.
If that doesn't show you where the allegiances lie on this property in Egypt team, I don't really know what will. It should be repeated ganks. Although, with that being said, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's JG Kings instead deferring to bot side with the knowledge that Arch Tempered is playing top side, and they just doesn't want to deal with that because Arch Tempered can take a 1v2 at any given moment the majority of the time.
Very true, and hopefully we'll be seeing some potential support going in matchup in the bot lane, General Rubber Duck in the jungle, Bandit mid lane, and hopefully we'll be seeing some kind of support going in towards the top lane, but perhaps it may or may not be as tug of war in the top lane as one might think. I am interested to see any kind of potential out of the box picks coming in from Foreign Orange. I know that they have in the past been the Vel'Koz mid player that I have kept my eye on, but let's see what they've got right now.
Yeah, we got the draft pulled up, and immediately the two completely different ideologies. And I don't want to sound like a broken record here. I feel like a lot of the times in the caster booth, it's like, yeah, one team's team fight oriented, the other one is, oh my gosh, they're pick oriented. But the amount of brutal ultimates coming out on the side of property in Egypt, the wombo combo potential is ridiculous. You get Skarner grabbing 3 of them, making sure that they can't do anything, they're suppressed, drop an ASOL bomb on top of them, and after all of that, after the stun, after the damage comes through, they're charmed by Seraphine and walking at you with like 1 HP, about to be corpses of champions. And, you know, for fun, you can throw in a Senna ult in the middle of that beam. I just want to see all 4 of those ults come together, and the Mundo's a really great pick because Mundo's scaling almost in line with Kasten scaling once he hits level 16. You just hit R around like 4 or 5 different champions. You get the increased healing around more people, and then you just heal the full from like 1 HP. And so it'll be up to LeBron James lovers to get somebody far enough ahead, either the Zed or the Udyr I'm particularly looking at. I know those are those two. They're 2 carries in top and mid lane.
And sorry to cut you off here,
You're good.
Kwanzaa, really
You're good.
quick.
I've been going
Don't
on.
forget about the channel points. Predictions are out. We're going to be seeing which side is going to be a little bit more popular than the other in terms of predictions. But hey, gambling, let us do it. And don't forget, pick your favorite player, go for them, do whatever you want. I am just excited to see what we got here. But yeah, like you were saying, there's a lot of potential scaling and some possibilities with big prio going on to just how infinitely this how infinitely property in Egypt could get when it comes to strength. We have the we have the Senna, we have the Dr. Mundo, we have the ASOL, and Seraphine and Skarner just to top it all off. I am interested to see where this all goes.
I will say, on the side of LeBron James lovers, every time I look at LBJ, I think Lyndon B. Johnson, man. I can't get it out of my head. LeBron James lovers, there is such a large degree for them to outplay. You know, it's very projected what property in Egypt want to do, right? Skarner
Right.
ult into ASOL ult into Seraphine ult, the whole breakdown I just discussed. But LeBron James lovers, the amount of repositioning that they can do themselves and also force on the other team, right? With a Blitzcrank hook, with a Kaisa R, with Zed dashing 17 million times. They have the Galio and the Udyr as well to tank things up and get some AoE damage off. We could see a Zed, a Kaisa just taking center stage with the ability that they can outplay, because there is no real form of like solid CC over on the other side of property in Egypt outside of ultimates, right?
Right.
So if they're able to use their mobility to their advantage, we could see them running laps around property in Egypt But the level to do that, you just are expecting a much higher level of play out of yourself than your opposition.
Yeah, and I'm expecting to see some potential tank wars. Hopefully, we'll be seeing the Skarner and the Udyr going up against each other and whittling it down. I am interested to see what kind of positions we're going to be getting here. Obviously, with the Kaisa picks, we do know that bot lane is going to potentially be really strong in favor of them, but it's all going to be about if we're going to be seeing those major picks. Will Zed be able to go in and gank? Will we be seeing those Blitzcrank hooks getting the priority that they need? Will Galio be able to go in and ult at the right time? But I think now is the time to see where all of this is going.
Wait, is this actually a Zed into a Mundo?
It is. I
I
think.
didn't put, yeah, it is. I didn't put 2 and 2 together that it was going to be Arch-Tempered on the Zed. It is a very high potential carry champion, but I don't know what kill pressure you have in lane. Maybe I'm wrong.
That is a good question. It does seem like Zed is a bit of a difficult pick here. Everybody going bot lane, going to potentially just destroy Lara and Amber and Amber, which forcing the flash out on Lynn, missing the Blitzcrank hook. I mean, forcing out the flash over the Blitzcrank hook is pretty good trade, I would say. But I really want to know where Arch Tempered is going to go with this.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like once Mundo hits 6, I understand he's like one of the weakest early game champs, so maybe that's where Arch-Tempered gets his lead. But I feel like once Mundo hits 6, you just can't ever kill him. And maybe that's like, it's just gonna be Arch-Tempered perma pushing lane and just roaming mid and bullying the ace hole. Who knows? That flash coming out from Senna, actually really crucial. They have a Blitzcrank on the other team. I call it a Blitzcrank ward. It should be a ward that goes down in tri-bush so you don't have to stand in it because you want to avoid that bush at all costs.
Yeah.
But with the Senna flashing, it should be Aerokun and Matchup getting prio here because it's a Seraphine ADC and Matchup can just auto it because they're an actual ADC, which means Aerokun can just walk up, flash E the Senna, and then hook her and she's dead. That's what I want to see coming out of this bot lane.
Oh wait, it's Bandit is actually going to be their top laner, and Arch Tempered is actually going to be it's a lane swap, a full lane swap ahead of time. It's you were calling it correctly. It's a strange matchup if you were trying to go Zed into Mundo, and considering Mundo was, if you'll recall, last pick or the side of men of high, but it's gonna not matter right now. We're gonna be potentially seeing first blood matchup managing to whittle down Arrow, landing that proper hook onto the center, just no escapability. It is just going to be first blood on the side of LeBron's James lovers.
As long as you can get that flash out in the invade, even if the invade doesn't immediately pay off, if it's somebody on bot lane, it's just so free, especially with the Seraphine on the other side, and they punish there correctly. Lyra has to use that barrier and yet still die. Which, for a Senna Seraphine lane, the entire idea is scaling and being useful later into the game. Not the start you wanted once this base comes off from Matchup and Aerokun. They'll come back significantly stronger and it'll be Blitz looking to just zone you off of every single wave.
Speaking of zone, it does seem like Zed is able to push back the ace, so we're seeing your claims of going in towards top lane and going down bot lane for Skarner, but hopefully we'll be seeing some kind of switch up here, maybe a gank onto Arch Tempered here coming in from GJ King, but it may take a little bit of time considering that Zed is a pretty solid matchup against Skarner when it just comes to just dodging everything. You were talking about before, just all of those dashes, just avoiding much of any priority on the side of property in Egypt. So at this point, it's all just about who's going to be giving this priority or who's going to be pushing in harder.
I am interested that, I should have said this sooner, but GJ Kings is the highlight player on this roster, and they have him on the Skarner. Not somebody who can directly carry, but all of the faith coming out here from property in Egypt is exclusively in the Wombo combo and the team fight potential. If you're putting your highest rate players, Arch Tempered actually going to dash forward and get some solid trades out onto this ace hole, walk out once he's half health and in kill range. But property in Egypt, if they don't execute on these ultimates they really have zero sustained damage outside of the ASOL. So that's something to look out for. And 4 and Orange gets away with his life and actually is gonna try to stick around to collect this wave. The reset is coming off now. Okay.
Yeah, seeing some back and forth going in from Bandit and Teach Me the Ways. This is going to be a lot of briefcases being flung, tornadoes getting thrown in, and even though Bandit does have the greater priority, and it doesn't matter for an Orange looking to peek and potentially slow down Arch Tempered, but it's just not going to be enough. That Zed just being able to shadow clone, come up and around you and just slice you to pieces with the shurikens is going to keep him in the priority seat right now on the side of LeBron James lovers.
I'm really surprised Property Egypt hasn't attempted to fix the lane assignments. They just keep sending 4 and Orange on repeat out into Arch Tempered, which is already a rough matchup for ASOL before you even look at each player's ranks. And if you flip that around, if you can just keep mismatching the Mundo into the Zed, you slow down the Zed spike significantly, assuming he can't kill the Mundo. But they are opting to just keep original lane assignments, and we'll see how that pans out.
It's going to be interesting. It is possible that he will rotate on past level 6 if he can potentially get a plate in against Bandit, but maybe not, considering the fact that he's willing it down. Oh, barely missing out on the turret, but he may just pay the punishment for that. Bandit seeing him at low health, dodging the W and just managing to miss out, trying to whittle him down, but the Mundo W is just going to be too much. And that ult from Mundo just managing to keep him alive for long enough. That is a tragedy for Bandit.
Yeah, such a good sidestep there from Teach Me the Ways. Bandit couldn't connect on the dash forward, and the W resistance plus Mundo being a level up and the ult still active meant they just out-healed the Galio's damage. And Galio has a ridiculous amount of base damage for a champion in this game, but not enough there as Bandit... they are itemizing instantly into a Hollow Radiance, which is the standard item for Galio, and I understand you're into a Seraphine ASOL, but I don't know. It's
I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a bit of a rough
he's
one.
the one laning into the Mundo though, which is
yes. J King coming in, getting with the U-turn, getting whittled down. Amber managing to land the passive double proc of Q. Seeing them just whittle it down, it is a tragedy to see that Arrow is just losing out on that, but it does mean that bot lane is stabilized, going even now in terms of kills and deaths. It's probably what we're going to be seeing more from GJ King, but dodging the ult from ASOL, Arch Tempered going in and managing to land it where it hurts. General Rubber Duck looking to go in on Teach Me the Ways. We're trying to see those ganks, trying to get that priority, and trying to whittle down the first tower, because we have not seen anything beyond feats of warfare going onto the side of LeBron James lovers.
Yeah, I mean, Mundo is just stronger right now, instantly building into what should be a Heartsteel. But, it has that Demolish proc, and Mundo being a kill up over the Galio when Mundo is this week early, not ideal. So making up for the gap that's being slowly created mid lane, it is Arch Tempered up nearly 40 CS, officially 40 CS, and 2 kills as well, and maybe looking for another. They don't spot JG Kings behind them. Now you see JG Kings just hovering in the area in case a dive was going to happen, but they'll cross on over to their Raptors, and we'll flip down bot side where Arrow-kun had to burn his flash in that previous fight, but they will get that wave under, and maybe a cheeky Blitzcrank cook coming out here to pull somebody out from the safety of that tower if Arrow-kun can find an angle.
Hopefully we'll be seeing something going in from Arrow-kun, not quite hitting level 6 yet, which is going to be the full combo going in from Blitzcrank. It's just going to make matchup just way easier to whittle down both Amber and Lyra, considering that neither of them really have that solid escape outside of CC. But it is going to be first plate, slowly going to be whittling down that tower using those grubs, and it's going to be 4 men more towards LeBron James lovers right now.
So Arch Temper just waiting in that brush for bot lane to get back, but the Udyr was on vision crossing over. They're still creeping up ever so slightly. They're aware though. Look at Lyra and Amber just waiting patiently before getting the lane. They're sacrificing a lot here, but they are nowheres. They see the Zed rotating back out. They do finally step forward. So while they might have lost a couple CS, good heads-up play there. And we'll see some trading happening between Bandit and Teach Me the Ways. Mundo goes where he pleases. Just gonna walk through the tower, take a couple shots, and trade, but gets a free proxy as a result.
Free proxy, unfortunately missing out on second plate so far. Seeing Arrow-kun and Lyra just trying to go back and forth, use what they can, but managing to land it, popping up, managing to hit that level 6, that priority with the Lyra, but Senna ult may be able to keep them alive long enough, even with the Ignite. Seeing the ult coming in from JG King, Shoutman getting shot down by Tower, Lyra managing to survive thanks to that Senna ult shield. It is going to be even kills now, thanks to JG King's very powerful gank.
Arch Tempered. Look at this dive underneath two towers. He's gonna die with the execute attached onto the Asol there. The Zed just tormenting Foreign Orange. And this is a game that I don't think they're gonna want any part of once it's over. This is one that'll be shoved away in the depths of their memories. It is not fun.
That previous movement coming in from Teach Me the Ways is like you said, Mundo goes where he pleases, but he just gets slammed in. JG King coming in, attempting, slowing down Arch Tempered and getting the massive smack coming in from the empowered Q, managing to land the Rockwood and General Rubber Duck trying to avenge the death, dodging the plant, trying to go in. JG King getting cornered in by Blue Buff, trying to do what he can to escape. That Skarner speed and going through the walls is going to be useful. Even though it didn't get used, the plants just keeping JG King alive. Unfortunate, since Rubber Duck was on the warpath to avenge Arch Tempered.
Yeah, it is a good kill there from JG Kings onto Arch Tempered. Gets that shutdown. What?
Alright.
What?
Fair enough.
Yeah, there's a nest there. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for the heads up. Yeah, got a word from production, so we'll correct ourselves pronunciation-wise. But yeah,
Hopefully,
good kill from the Skarner. Grabs that shutdown, gets enough gold to finish those Lucids after the Heart Steal, and we'll start pathing down GJ King. I think prepping for this dragon that should be spawning relatively soon.
Are seeing that LeBron James Lovers now has the 6 grubs. Gonna make towers a little bit easier to deal with. Although that doesn't seem like it's gonna be much before Orange getting whittled down again by another Zed ult. Seeing the massive difference right now. It's just going to be a tragedy going on in mid lane. Meanwhile, top lane is just gonna have Mundo going wherever he pleases, smacking up the turret, getting the hard steel stacks on Bandit. Bandit just not really able to capitalize since they too are going pretty much full tank.
I think the theory here is I wanted that, you know, mismatch to come out on the side of property in Egypt, although GJ King may be way too far over himself. Kind of suppressed to buffer the Blitzy so that the hook can immediately follow up. That'll keep him alive using the Skarner ults, but it's gonna have to be Mundo equaling the amount of power that Arch Tempered has. It won't be in the same fashion, right? Because Arch Tempered at any point, given the lead that's been garnered, should be able to one-shot Asol, Seraphine, or Senna in any late-game teamfight, and Mundo can't exactly peel them. But he might be unkillable himself, unless Kaisa procs enough passive stacks on him continuously.
It is going to be interesting to see. We're guiding the double Heartsteel stack, just showing that scaling is going to be a big priority for property in Egypt. Hopefully, General Roberduck trying to look on towards GJ Kings, and it's just not really going to be much, but they are going to potentially take tower here thanks to access to a bunch of grubs, but it is the 3v3 getting forced back. Meanwhile, top lane is having their and trying to have their cake and eat it too, going in to get the Heartsteel stacks, but Bandit having to flash in, but the Mundo ult going in, and the tower of bot lane going down. Arrow-kun managing to land the full combo of hook into ult, and Teach Me the Ways managing to survive yet another tower combat, but Arch Tempered wanted to go after them. It is just double towers, dives, double destruction on the side of both teams, and we're leaving with 1-1.
Yeah, the biggest result out of that, more than anything, is Teach Me the Ways was knocking on the door of that top tower. Did bait out Bandit to force onto him, holding onto his ult, and Bandit flashing to try to secure the kill. And second that flash comes out, Teach Me the Ways on the Mundo just presses R, and he's going to be fine to live. But he did have to give up first tower for that. He had Demolish ready, and at the health that tower is at, it would have been gone, which would have kept his team in the Feats battle, but instead, it would be Feats fully secured over to the side of LeBron James lovers, because I believe they had the initial 3 kills as well for the Feat of Warfare. So, no need to worry about objectives anymore. Of course, they would still want them, but in terms of Feat implications, it won't be much.
Hopefully we'll be seeing more and more prioritization. Those dragons, even though it's only the drakes only, even though it's only 1-for-1 right now, I am interested to see if Herald is going to be contested at all. We know that Teach Me the Ways is just sort of hovering around, dealing with the waves and just slowly whittling it, while Foreign Orange is trying their best to farm even with this low tower. I am interested to see who is going to make first priority here. But let's look at the gold really quick.
It's even almost identically across the entire board. I mean, Mundo, despite having the kills and the bounty, it's going to be Arch-Tempered coming up 500 gold. And obviously, that's even more of a disparity when you move the Zed down against the Aesol. But in terms of the level of Aesol and Galio, they're basically on par. So 500 gold acquired from Arch-Tempered over the top of Teach Me the Waves, and the biggest differential will be the Kaisa, about up 1,500 over the top of Amber on the Seraphine, which is what you would expect given the lane differences that we're seeing. The Kaisa Blitzcrank versus the Seraphine Senna, you should be able to generate some sort of lead, although that will be temporarily equalized here, or at least cut down with Amber receiving that bottom tower.
Bandit and GJ Kings just sort of staring, holding glances towards one another, just showing that both of them are going to be quite tanky and potentially problematic for the big team fights, given Galio's massive taunt. But at this point, General Rubber Duck and GJ Kings just going in and trying to whittle down whatever they can, farm up as best they want, to eventually potentially lead into a gank against matchup or towards bot lane. But at this point, I'm more worried about who is going to be able to capitalize on the tower destruction going in on top and bot lane. Hopefully we'll be seeing Property in Egypt managing to capitalize on the split push potential here.
Yeah, I mean, they have the Mundo, which we've already said goes where he pleases. How's that Warmogs finished along with the Heartsteel at only 17 minutes? That is criminal. To have that much golden items, was that like almost over 6,000 golden items, like 6,200 gold? That is such a high total to have on a Mundo at level 13. They don't have any of the grubs, so won't instantly take towers, but he's just going to walk up to a tower, hit it, feel free to trade with whatever health he wants, walk back, wait for 15 seconds, heal to full, and then just rinse and repeat. So, definitely a force to be reckoned with, and it's going to be left up to LeBron James lovers to find what they can cross-map otherwise through the power of the Zed, and you see that's exactly what they're doing here, ignoring the Mundo top and sending 4 down to pinch Lyra and Amber. Amber forced to flash out, but Arch-Tempered's there to collect them both. There'll be a blitz hook onto the Senna. The R from Aerokun. The silence will kill her, but matchup will grab the Seraphine, and the bot lane for Property Egypt will fall victim to this 4-man roam.
Meanwhile, GJ King's trying to go in and get that matchup kill that he was talking about earlier, managing to get double suppressed, but it is a 4v1, managing Bandit to shield off for matchup. Teach Me the Ways coming in, moving in where he pleases, seeing Foreign Orange going in with that empowered ult, whittling down everyone across the board. Senna Beam not managing to finish off matchup or Aerokun, but it is going to be GJ Kings finishing off with that rock against Aerokun, just landing, and it is going to be another, it is just going to be a 1-for-2, unfortunately, for the side of Property in Egypt. Bot lane is kind of struggling right now, but they're not down and out. They're not down and out yet.
I mean, they are two, like, hyper-scaling champions, so you expected the lane to go that way. Being down this amount, obviously not ideal, not the result you would have wanted, but still room to grow in this comp. It is almost a pure scaling comp across the board. All 5 champions of Property in Egypt going to succeed in that manner. And that last fight from Property in Egypt, they got Aerokun on the Blitzcrank, but I think they would have wanted more. Had that ASOL connected the stun, the shockwave hit everybody, but had the stun hit literally anyone, I think they come away with 2. Instead, it was 3 different people living with about half their HP, and Arch-Tempered finds Lyra being a bit too greedy for vision, and we had the question popped up in the stats channel from Rhino on why supports have an abnormally high number of deaths. I think that right there, greeting a bit for vision, Lyra gonna get punished for trying to drop some deep wards in front of this Otacon.
Yeah, as somebody, a support main, and what me and Mustard were talking about last game, the vision score is going to be very important, especially for both sides. It just doesn't matter where you are. Having at least some kind of wards or some type of protection to deal with wards is going to be very important, especially when you have such high priority objectives to turn the game. Because right now, it is a 2.5k gold roughly of difference for the side of LeBron James lovers. So hopefully we'll be seeing some kind of vision priority. I mean, we are seeing General Rubber Duck trying to whittle down whatever bot lane, jungle vision they have. I'm just hoping to see some kind of recovery for Lyra so that they don't overextend. Stay with GJ Kings, maybe stay with Teach Me the Ways. There are some places where you can be, just don't go by yourself.
Yeah, that's a really good point, especially on the Senna. You don't have the liberty that Aerokun does on that Blitzcrank of being tankier. You are a glorified ADC in the support role. You go for deep wards like that, anybody spots you. I think the Blitzcrank can 1v1 you at your current power strength. So walking with company, don't go alone. Buddy system, very crucial here. Arch-Tempered, we're gonna work on Foreign Orange, and here comes the ult from the Zed, flash from Foreign Orange, and it's all for naught. The ult as well, trying to stun Arch-Tempered under the tower, but just too fluid with those Zed mechanics, and that's another solo kill from Zed onto the ASOL. 5 already collected. The only one that hasn't been on the ASOL, it was on the Seraphine, I believe.
Yes, and we are seeing the Otacon top getting taken down on the side of LeBron James lovers, getting all that priority, not really having any vision that was going to keep Property in Egypt in the know for the voracious Otacon. But at this point, now they have their withdraws in hand, and it's just going to mean they can be as aggressive as they need to be when it comes to whittling down these towers. A 4-man push in top lane just means that they can just whittle away and try to do what they can. Meanwhile, Arch-Tempered in mid lane is going to also be pushing the wave, dealing with whatever they can, forcing GJ King to potentially look in mid lane to protect the turret, and while Foreign Orange just sort of is kind of in the struggle bus right now.
Yeah, everybody resetting over on the side of Property in Egypt, and they'll cross-map by way of Teach Me the Waves, who grabs the solo gold as opposed to the 4-way split gold on the tier 2 bot. They will trade back one of the withdrawals. I believe that was Blitzcrank, and Teach Me the Waves will be getting chunked down by this Zed. It has to pop the ult and walk out for free, but Arch-Tempered showing that he does have kill pressure when Mundo doesn't have the ult. GJ King's trying to chase down Bandit, going to use the Skarner ultimate and just guarantee that they can burn another withdrawal. But with the commitment here top, it's just a withdrawal. They'll be conceding Soul Point over to LeBron James lovers as they're coming back after resetting back to base, and saw 3 top. It's a free dragon for them.
It is going to be Infernal Dre giving them that tinge of extra power that we're wanting to see from matchup Rubber Duck and Arch Tempered. Any kind of damage they can go on to is going to be very important. I mean, Rubber Duck is seemingly prioritizing a more bruiser, ambushy style with a combination of both Phoenix and Bear. Hopefully they'll be able to come in and whittle down GJ King's tankier build, but at this point he hasn't really put himself on the board. He's gotten 1 assist very early on in the game, and at this point I'm interested to see if the farming is going to make up for anything at this point.
Yeah, it'll be something to look out for with what they're able to get done and accomplish. It'll be LeBron James lovers securing soul points, up 3,000 gold and some change. And they are in the driving seat with regard to these waves, all 3 of them. Pushed onto Property in Egypt's half, but maybe a good fight coming out here. That's a good ult, just grabbing Eriku, but he has the flash, just gonna bail right back out. And they were hoping for a pick onto Eriku, but everybody on LeBron James lovers has their flash, and that wouldn't have been the priority target anyways. And they're just gonna look to start Baron. It is on Vision, so they know it, but how does Property in Egypt come to address this? They have ults. This is the combo outside of Skarner ult that we've been looking for. Asol ult plus Seraphine ult. Here comes the Senna one. A taunt coming through by the Galio. Seraphine gets everybody. Asol didn't have the empowered one, but still cracks a couple of stuns. A cacophony of flashes come out. GJ King just doing his best to peel his backline. Let Amber and Lyra cook him and teach me the ways. This is the late game Mundo that presses R, becomes unkillable.
That was
the pentakill for Teach Me the Ways on the Mundo, and Property in Egypt suddenly back in this game in a big manner.
Buy high, sell low. Mundo knows best with business, managing to land off, preventing anything from Baron from being taken, managing to take tier 2 mid tower. It's like you're saying, at this point, Teach Me the Ways is showing off what people are so excited about. Just banging his suitcase, his head into these turrets. It's going to be really tough to see if LeBron James lovers is going to be able to tackle back these objectives. But Baron is still alive and well, so it's not like they can't potentially revitalize their efforts and strategize a way to potentially whittle down someone like Amber or Lyra to take priority onto the Baron. But at this point, it's just going to be all about taking whatever farm you can, seeing if they can whittle down Teach Me the Ways. But as that team fight showed, as long as Teach Me the Ways has at least one other person, it's just going to be really hard for him to be just killed outright.
Yeah, Teach Me the Ways has to change his name, drop the me, add in YOU. He's gonna educate y'all, teach you the ways. Mundo now level 16. That fight he took at Baron, he was level 15. And this man might be unkillable now that he has the 3rd point in that R. Galio coming out here. Bandit gonna attempt to save Arch Temper, but here is the level 16 Mundo, only with 2 people around him, instantly healing, and he's gonna go all the way to a full health bar. And LeBron James lovers are running for the hills. GJ King won't connect on that Skarner, but the Asol, the skies descend onto LeBron James lovers. They're gonna whittle them down. Eriku gets out with a fraction of HP. Can JG Kings hit him with a rock, toss the stone, and just like that, this game has opened wide open for Property in Egypt. And Teach Me the Ways, an MVP performance, even despite Arch-Tempered solo kills onto 4 and Orange consistently. This Mundo is going to hold on to the 700 gold bounty, I think, for the rest of the game.
It is such a tragedy to see. Even though Arch-Tempered Zed is a pretty solid matchup when it comes to dealing with the Mundo, going for that stronger burst of all of his abilities and just flashing through with his ult, it's just not going to be enough. That early Warmogs is just going to make it so that anything that they throw at him is just going to be weakened heavily. And now we're seeing yet even more tankiness coming on the side of GJ Kings. It's all going to be about whether or not Archtemper can lead this back in. Both sides have their mid lane nearly entirely opened up. Hopefully they'll be able to stop this dragon and this full soul pick for LeBron's James lovers. They may need to try and whittle down someone like Matchup or Aerocoon first, or maybe just outright destroy Archtempered, but it seems like Pi has that on their minds.
Yeah, it's they need to find a way to kill Teach Me the Wave. Zed opting into that Blade of the Ruined King just for percentage health damage, and Matchup needs to get way more gold pumped into them because that's the only form of percentage health damage that they have in these champions kit is in Kai'Sa's passive. And I don't know. Teach Me the Ways is just running away. 500 Heartsteel stacks has Overlord's Bloodmail now finished. And then we didn't even touch upon the unending despair also there. Look, Mundo going where he pleased. And that bonus proc. 2/3 health of that entire tower. And oh my gosh, this man is a menace.
Remember, folks, last pick is just as important as first pick. When your last pick Mundo, dear God, run. Because this man is out here staring down the barrel of 5 teammates, and now he's just getting shield popped, going in by himself, just whittling down Aerocoon, smacking him up. Meanwhile, Foreign Orange is trying to whittle down Bandit, but Archtemper trying to go in and destroy Lyra and managing to land that kill. Foreign Orange and Teach the Ways just going in, just absorbing all those tower shots. Meanwhile, the flamethrower dragon Gundam thing that ASOL is helping out the Mundo, and they have managed to burst down another inhibitor. And at this point, it may just be the game right here, given that they're
back. There goes the tower, and they have this wave with Baron buff. It's only a Zed. There's no wave clear on this champ. They're just gonna get chunked by the Heartsteel stack. Get a couple flashes. He's trying to distract and pull away, but there's the final shutdown given over to Teach Me the Ways. And an MVP performance on this Mundo. A pentakill, a triple kill, and the reason why Property in Egypt is walking away with another W in that column.
That is a sight. I am very happy I hitched my bandwagon on that Dr. Mundo. Even if they were infinitely scaling, just seeing how much they got pushed in towards the beginning, Arch-Tempered whittling down Foreign Orange, it did not detract their top lane from just proving that Mundo goes where he pleases. It does not matter how many dashes you have, your Galio ults, your any kind of priority in the bot lane. No, he goes where he wants.
Yeah, I mean, Arch-Tempered did his job in the last fight too, right? Completely zoning off Seraphine and Senna, getting kills on both of them, removing them from the fight. That is his role. But nobody can deal with that Mundo. I mean, Mundo won lane, which is already a crime. But you throw on top of that just the draft vacancies that they had in terms of chunking it down. The Udyr opted into more of an AD build on LeBron James lovers. And if he even goes like the hybrid Leandries into full tank build, there's at least some form of burn of percentage health damage there. But they had no way of killing that Mundo with their champions and with the items they opted into.
Yeah, I was a little saddened. General Rubber Duck did have seemingly the ability to potentially turn the tide, having some potential ganks alongside Matchup and Aerocoon getting in some of those hooks against Lyra and Amber, but they just never seem to get their foot on the gas, and prioritizing, like you said, the AD build just didn't really result in anything. A bruiser build isn't bad, but when the entire enemy team can either just tank through most of anything they can throw, or just kind of whittle them down with ults and burn, it's just not going to really result in anything advantageous for LeBron James lovers. But that is the game.
Yeah, that is it. That's our second game for this Sunday slate, and that's it for our week 3 action here on stream. I think there's still a few games left to filter through. We'll see where the standings shake out as the race for the playoffs nears. It's coming to a close. We're coming We're officially almost at the halfway point. I think next week. Yeah. Just getting confirmation
We're already
that
halfway
we're halfway
there.
through the regular season. So there is lots more on the table, but no more for week number 3. It'll be week number 4 coming up here next Saturday. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for hanging out. This has been Kwanzek. Am I pointing the right way? Yes. Nope. This way.
Other way.
I can't even get it on camera. That's
The
been
beach is
Gusto.
that way.
Behind the camera, behind everything, has been Tarsa Mustard running the sticks. And thank you all for watching. Enjoy the rest of your afternoons. And if you're a football fan, it's a big day for you.
Bye bye.